Welcome back to Anno 1800 for another stamp video. Today a quite important one because we're gonna talk about advanced materials. We're gonna talk about the glass, concrete and the windows. Don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you've missed some of the previous episode where I show, for example, first of all how to use stamps, but also all of the previous productions like farmer production, workers and artisans. We've already covered a lot of the artisan production, so I think it's quite important that we actually talk about windows. And with windows, we're also going to talk about glass, which will be critical for the first engineer production, the spectacles. On top of this, for engineers, we're also gonna need concrete, reinforced concrete. So let's talk about all of them. So first of all, I have a simple integrated, fully integrated, there's everything you need to make windows. You do need an arbor, right? Because you need some sand, right? And the sand is going to come over here, quartz sand from, you put on the arbor. If you don't have, you can obviously still put everything else and then put this a bit far away. But yeah, over here, simple, not pretty or anything, but it has everything. Because with this, you'll be able to already make 4 windows per minute. So, you build this, you let it run in the background while you're doing other things. I can guarantee you this is going to give you enough windows for a while. So as I said, this is 4 windows per minute with everything that you need. 4 glass, 4 quartz sand, and 4 wood. So we have the 2 sand mines, then it goes into those 2 glass makers over here, then 4 windows maker, because this is a 1 minute production. It will take those windows, plus some wood. Wood is 15 seconds, so that's easy, you only need 1 lumberjack hut. And then on the other side of the road, you have the warehouse, which you will probably need to upgrade, at least 1 or 2 level. And then you have the fire station and the police station. If you don't want to upgrade it, you can obviously build a few more over there. Before we move any further, remember that in the video description below, you will find the link to the Discord community. It's totally free to join. And on Discord, you can find all of the stamps, right? You can download all of the stamps for free. Of course, you can also discuss with me and the community, share your questions about the game, also share about what other game you want to see on the channel. So don't hesitate to check it out. And if you want to contribute, don't hesitate also to click on the first link in the video description below, which is my Patreon page. We recently launched it. It starts at $1 per month. And with this, you get access to a lot of cool benefits. Similar to the windows, here we have a simple integrated layout for reinforced concrete. It's not perfect though, because to reinforce concrete, you're gonna need a couple of resources. But let me show you over here, with this, you'll be producing 2 reinforced concrete. You have exactly what you need in terms of the cement already. You have exactly what you need in terms of the steel. Unfortunately, to make the steel, you're gonna need iron and coal. You are making the coal, actually you are making too much of the coal. I missed that, so you only need 1. Sorry, that's my bad. So we can make it even more compact if you want, but you're also gonna need the iron, which means you need access to another mine, and unless you're very, very lucky, it probably won't be, the mine next door. So here it is. You may also get access to coal, in that case, you can delete this charcoal clean if you want, do something like this, right? And then in this case, now we have access to everything. Now we have access to everything, but remember that also iron mine, this is 15 per second, right? So actually now we're producing 4, which means you could double, what you have over here, do something like this, where now we're producing 4 per minute, and this is all equilibrium over here, but we also need more cement, which means you'll need items over here, or you'll need a second limestone quarry, right? Which is why the stamp that I created is just with 2 and not with 4. But yeah, as I said, this is the pretty basic one. Now let's start looking at some trade unions, and the first one is, as always, a mixed trade union. A mixed trade union for your windows, where inside the trade unions you will have both the window makers, right, to make the actual windows, but also the glass makers to make the glass. We have half and half that probably won't be at equilibrium, especially when you put some items, but it's also because you'll probably need glass for other things. For example, as I showed at the beginning, for your glasses, for your engineers or investors, you will need some glass. So it's good to make a few more than what you need for the windows. It will require a lot of sand, and for that, I don't really have a perfect layout. This is on your arbor, so you don't really have a choice. It will depend a bit on the shape of your arbor. And then you'll need a lot of wood. So for the wood, you may want to use this dedicated trade unit that I showed in the past. You can find it on the Discord community, of course. Now, as I said, you may want a lot of glass, right? Because you're gonna need it for other things. So So you may want a completely dedicated trade union. This is this one over here. It's actually very similar to the one I showed you in the last episode around the fur coats. It's the same size, so you will see it's actually the same shape, but of course different items. So we're talking 33, 66 per minute without any items or working conditions. We have a lot of warehouses, fire station, police station. You'll probably want to put more, but yeah, that should work pretty well. And then similarly, if you want to make a lot of windows, for example, maybe you have one island where you make all of the resources that you need for your whole empire. I've done that in the past in my series where we reached more than 3 million scholars. I had one of those islands where I was making all of the resources with dedicated trade unions and tons of items. In this case, this is 30 window maker to make 30 per minute. So it's a bit less without any items or working conditions. So you can reach 50 easily. And then similarly, you can do the same for concrete. You have it over here. If you have access to the Palace DLC and you want to make sure that this trade union gets the boost, make sure that you connect the road over here. But otherwise, you don't really need that road, to be honest, right? And we have the trade union covering all of them. We're talking about 26 concrete factories, so that's 26 per minute. You will need a lot of this cement, probably coming from mines or from Eli. You can buy some, but not enough for this. And then the steel, remember I showed you in the past, there's a dedicated trade union too, if you want to make sure that you're producing all of the steel needed. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot of funky designs for those productions, because in my opinion, either you just need the basic one, one or two of these basic one that you place, or you're gonna need the super advanced, dedicated one because you're trying to do a min-max or a huge empire, but you probably don't need something in the middle. And there's not a lot of, items or perfect layout that could help you anyway in the middle, because we're talking a lot about mines, right? You need the cement from the mines, you need the coal and the iron from the mines. So sorry, maybe you may be a bit disappointed by this episode, but I did want you to make sure that you had access to those layouts and stamp. And don't worry, in the next episode, we'll cover a lot more. So if you haven't subscribed yet, don't hesitate to smash the like button, maybe also press the bell to make sure that you get a notification when I post the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.